Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Thank you very much for all your questions. Nadim is with us, Mario as well. Steve, are you feeling all right? I feel like you've gone downhill as the show's gone on. Not with your content, with your health. No,
I've just got a blocked nose.
Yeah, that's true. Stevie.
Well, it's getting late, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting late. At your age, the cold. It starts to ache. Is Stevie going to the parade when Liverpool win the league?
No.
Did you like the parades back in the day?
Do you know, it's really strange. When I think about the parades now, I enjoy it way more now than I ever did then.
What was the problem with them?
Well, the problem was that we had a lot of beer on the bus.
Right, well, that sounds like the least of your problems.
And so really we were just concerned with getting more beer. You know, you're waving to everybody and it's lovely to see everybody.
Right.
But it's not until afterwards and you kind of go, hold on a second.
Yeah.
What about that? It's
it must have been incredible, because just sea of red, thousands of fans.
Aye. Well, you're always looking to see who's sitting in the crazy spot.
Right.
Because people can. I've never seen old men being able to climb a lamppost and sit on the top of it.
Yes.
The way they did.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just mental. But anywhere somebody could get a view, they climbed it and sat on it.
Mario, Chelsea FA Cup, there must have been a parade, yeah?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, the capital of the country going on a parade, I didn't mind that, especially on the beautiful street like King's Road. That's how they got me to sign for Chelsea, because they took me from the airport straight on the King's Road, showed me the King's Road, and then took me to the stadium and then offered the deal. So then I knew, okay, they showed me London, they said, okay, now you can sign.
I told you Steve Staunton won, didn't I?
Is this when he had a little too much?
Yeah.
Right.
So we would get on the bus at the airport and go into town.
Yeah.
And of course we had to come back to the airport. So when we would get outside of Liverpool, it was the coast road down to the airport.
Yeah.
And so Steve Staunton, he won't mind me telling you, Steve Staunton had way more than he was supposed to.
Right.
And was basically sitting, he could hardly keep his eyes open. And he was on the side of the bus that was at the shore. And so we just got together and started shoving and going, Steve, wave to the fans, wave to the fans. He stands like that to the ocean. Stan's just sitting in his seat like that, waving to the ocean.
Lovely.
Absolutely paralytic.
Nadim, any parade stories?
No, Dan. You know me, mate. Didn't play many cup finals, didn't win many leagues, but you know, I enjoyed watching them. Yeah, cheers, Dan.
No, I said that in a much nicer way than I could have put it. Is it fair in a team sport to justify bad results because of the absence of one player? For example, no Rodri for City, no striker for Arsenal, yet Liverpool have no striker, but look, a more complete team. Is Rodri's absence allowed to be used as a complete scapegoat for this whole debacle that has been City this season, Nathan?
I think it's one of the bigger reasons, but then there have been other players who've been out of form, like, you know, for Kyle Walker, for example, the first half of the season, that's as bad as he's played in a long time.
Kyle Walker's getting it today,
he's been unavailable due to injury. Phil Foden not scoring a goal in the league until, he's getting hammered. Yeah, Phil Foden not scoring a goal till, you know, probably 3-4 months into the season. But to put it into perspective, like, imagine if this season in particular, Mo Salah was unavailable for 3-4 months. Would we see Liverpool in the same position? I would argue that Rodri is as important to City as Salah is for Liverpool, even though it's a different position. So I think it does make a difference, but it's not the only reason, and people need to step up around it. But for City, they haven't been able to do so this year, whereas for others, you know, they do just fine.
What a question this is. Stevie, would you rather have Klopp or Slot at Liverpool next season?
Wow. Well.
Oof.
You know, I'm going to say Slot, right? And the reason I'm going to say Slot is, you know, Klopp only won one Premier League. Now, it's probably the most important league title in 30 years.
I believe so, Stephen.
I mean, it's huge. The title Klopp won is absolutely huge, so don't underestimate how important that was. However, I feel like the way that Arne Slot has Liverpool playing they have more chance of, in the future, winning more Premier League titles. Because it's great to watch as Klopp's teams were. It was 100 miles an hour. And when you're playing 100 miles an hour, game after game, week after week, A, it's difficult to keep that up. And B, I would say physically, it's hard to keep that up as well. You're probably going to end up with more injuries. And
Yeah.
so, whereas Slot's calm way of executing the way Liverpool plays, or the way he's got them playing, has more sustainability about it than Klopp's teams. So I'm going to say Slot.
Love for the Dutch there, Mario.
Of course, I gotta support the Dutch guy, you understand? And also the way he's doing it. I'm very happy that he's doing so well, because look how many Dutch people have been going across. And you understand, prior to this show we talked about ego. Yes, the ego kicked in because they play a certain type of football in Holland, and then they come to England and they think they're going to do the same. And I'm so happy Slot didn't do that. Even, you know, like when the way he talks, the way he thinks, it was totally different because he adapted himself to the game. And I think that's why, you understand, he started off well, because he's still got a long journey to keep on going.
Nadem, given that Pep just spent 200 million and yet there's no improvement, how can City management trust Pep with future investment in the summer? Especially given he's never been in this situation. Do they look beyond Pep?
Well, for a team in crisis, the best thing to do is to either call Neil Warnock or maybe Sam Allardyce. So clearly Guardiola needs to step out and bring those two big fellas in. You know, trust them with the money. Like, let's not be ridiculous. Yeah. You know, this is a guy who's like brought this era at Man City. Yeah, it's brought this era at Man City, and it's been hugely successful. A lot of the money which they've spent in the past has led to players sort of outperforming what some of the fees would be. Obviously not the case with everybody, but some of the players that have come in, they've ended up being really significant for this Man City side. So for the youngsters that have come in and the players who've come in this January, yes, they haven't necessarily hit the ground and made City astonishing, but in the grand scheme of things, when they came in January anyway, did you really think they were going to be going into the latter rounds of the Champions League? I don't think so. Did you think they're going to mount a title charge in the Premier League? I don't think so. So for them, this is unfortunately just the back end of a disappointing season overall, but their objectives have changed. There's the FA Cup, disqualifying for the Champions League. Let's see how those signings do between now and the end of the season, should they be able to achieve some of those goals. And in Guardiola, like, if you doubt him, do you know what I mean? Like, who's going to come in and make it better? Whoever comes in, if Guardiola gets sacked, that's going to be one of the toughest jobs in football. So stick with him while he's here, and I'm sure he's going to try and help the club in the future be in a better position after he's gone.
Mario, Virgil van Dijk was getting a lot of flack for not being vocal or showing enough leadership as the Dutch captain. He's on course to lead Liverpool to their 20th title and may go down as one of our great captains. Have you seen a maturity in his character these past couple of years?
Yeah, definitely. And I think you understand when you highlight that point. Why? Because in Holland, sometimes we want to play the game, you understand, to be open and be beautiful and everything. And at Liverpool, there are moments where Van Dijk is just doing the business. Play the game, you understand. Of course, you want to take the responsibility because he's in the young team sometimes. Take a little bit more care of the younger players when it comes to the national team of Holland. But away from that, I think they also have to remember, you just have to make sure, let him do his job, and if he's not as vocal as they expect him to be, then make sure he's in the dressing room. Because in the dressing room, guys, sometimes people on the field, they talk a lot. You have players on the training field, they talk a lot, and you sometimes want to tell them, hey, stop, don't talk that much, talk on the field that much. And sometimes you have it the other way around. I think he talks a lot in the dressing room and maybe less on the field. And I think the balance is, but being a captain of Liverpool, guys, I think in Holland they should not take that lightly, because that is a big, big job. And Stevie can tell us more about it, but come on, being a captain of Liverpool, come on now, that's a great achievement.
To Mario, how happy are you with Dutch teams doing well in Europe? And which team do you think will go the furthest? AZ, PSV, Feyenoord or Ajax?
I don't know if they're going to win it, but I'm happy that because it helps the league to get up. You understand? So AZ, we understand is maybe the surprise in the package, because the three, PSV, Feyenoord and Ajax, are always the leaders in the country. But for me, of course, my history is Ajax, but I'm also happy that Ajax is doing that well, because prior to this season, they were almost, down just above relegation. So for them now to be and making a name for themselves again, Yeah, of course. I hope for them to at least, shake some more up and go all the way and do it on a global level instead of just the national, just do it in Holland only.
Stevie, as a defender, what would you say are some of the best qualities to have to become a successful top-level defender in football?
Well, it's got to matter if somebody beats you. That's it.
On the pitch, if somebody beats you one-on-one,
Has
or
to
gets the ball
matter.
past you, right?
It has to hurt you
Oh, okay.
to the point that you're not going to let it happen again.
Right.
That is absolutely. You start there,
Yeah.
you've got a chance.
Nathan, most important qualities as a defender?
No, I would agree with that as well, because obviously the way that the styles change across the years in terms of playing out and so on, but ultimately it has to matter. It's the same way, like imagine seeing a goalkeeper that's not bothered about conceding goals. Like a defender needs to take pride in their defending, because people will be looking at them and they will be needed at some stage. And if you can do that job, then yeah, you've got every chance to be a good player.
Oh, Mario?
Sorry. No, I was just going to add.
Yeah, it's just what the guy said, when you matter, go on,
Sorry,
Stevie.
Mario. I was just going to the point of, because we all rewatch games we play in.
Okay.
To the point of being embarrassed when you rewatch it and you're hoping nobody sat next to you watching it and sees you messing up.
Really?
Aye, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Mario?
I wanted to say that. I wanted to say exactly what Stevie said. I want to play that good that I don't have to watch the game again, because I want to make sure that when the game goes on, I don't have to look because I've been there well. But if you don't play good then, and imagine you have a meeting with the team, and I can tell you, I was at the age of 19. We had a meeting every game. After every game, we had a meeting with the whole team, sitting, watching videos, and talking about what the team should have done and what you did as an individual. And Louis van Gaal was my coach. Oh my God. I come out of school and go into the dressing room and then talk about this the next day. Then you don't know. Listen, at that moment, it is just one time in your whole career you don't want to be a footballer. That's a conversation after the game when you played bad. Then you say to yourself, I don't want to be a footballer today, but tomorrow I'll be okay.
Oh, that's hard. Final question is for Stevie, but I'm going to ask it to you, Nathan. Stevie was a very good and flexible player in his prime, while some other great players only played one position their entire career. So consequently, who do you think would win, Nathan, when 11 Stevies, Stevie in his prime, would take on 11 Messis?
Oh, wow. I think I'm just going to have to back the 11 Messis, because, this is multiple Ballon d'Or winner. One of the icons of the game, and for as good as Stevie is, I think sometimes it might take two Stevies to try and stop one Messi, but that leaves a lot of other Messis to do what they need to do. So, I'm going to leave Messi on that one, and I think most people will be okay with that. Sorry, Stevie.
What's the game plan, Stevie? What are you saying to yourself?
Set pieces.
Set pieces.
See,
I'll play for set
that's
pieces.
what I wanted to, I knew it. I knew that. I was going to say exactly that. And you're not going to make the end.
Set pieces and win the toss at least.
Win the toss?
Yeah, you got to win the toss, because if he's got the ball with 10 of his mates,
Right.
10 Messis,
Yes.
you've never seen the ball.
Right. And you have Steve Nicol, the set piece coach, the throwing coach,
Playing for set pieces.
all down the line.